Where are we here? All right. Greetings. Good evening. Happy Friday. I'm drinking. That wasn't. That's not as great. That's not as good as I wanted. Oh well. What is this? Can someone tell me if the skulls of my enemies are dishwasher safe? So there you go. It's Death Wish coffee. Supposedly it has a ton of caffeine or whatever, but I did not love it. It was not that tasty. I suppose it was just caffeinated, right? But anyway. Hey, what's up, Scott? How are you, sir? Figure instead of wallowing in existential dread, why don't we finish this Magic Realm game here? So it was day 18 when we left. The scores are up there. Not great scores, really. The White Knight and the Witch King and the Druid are at least scoring. The Dwarf, I think, I think I screwed the Dwarf up a bit. Um, and I mean, it's not entirely my fault. It's not my fault, man. Not entirely my fault. I think some of what happened was simply that he got, the caves weren't that useful. The cavern had the lair, which he did loot, but then I got sort of trapped over here, and this is rough. I still think the dwarf. I think the dwarf needs some tweaks still a little, just because it just feels wrong to me that the dwarf can't go in the mountains. Because um because as the dwarf, so I play the productive dwarf, which means the dwarf short legs allows him to only do 2 move phases in a day, but he gets all 4 sunlight phases if he's outdoors. And he can, of course, use his extra phases in the cave, so he can do 3 moves in the cave. So he's still better than everybody in the caves, and not useless outside, except in the mountains he has such a hard time. But I mean, everybody else does too, I suppose. So Mountain Dwarfer, I had to think about that, right? But anyway, so that's where we're at. I make no excuses for my bad dwarf play. um, and so we'll roll with it, and we will see where he ends up. We'll try to score him some damn points tonight, is what we're going to try to do. The druid is winning gold and has a card point and has tied for spells, and he is over here. And he needs to get, so if we look at his stuff, Diplomat Goblins, he did sort of wait up here, but did not get the Goblins to pop. And when they did, they disappeared, right? Because it was on a day 7, so that sort of sucked for us. So Diplomat Goblin, not really in the cards at the moment. I think we're going to try to get to the chapel. We're going to try to make the run to the chapel here, which is going to take us a little bit. That's going to do pilgrimage. And then I think, if I'm to be honest, we're going to hope that this is Dank W. This could be Dank W, and I suppose we could check it if we're going to make the run to the chapel. We could check this woods also to get Herbalist done. So maybe we will try that. But in the meantime, I did have him cast last night, on the night of day 18. He's going to cast Summon Animal again, because he can ride, potentially walk the woods, and he can potentially fly if he rolls the right thing. So on the night of the 18th, the Dwarven Druid, no, just the Druid, we are going to cast Summon Animal. We're looking for a 3 or a 4. That was close, but it's a 5, so he gets 2 wolves, which don't do him any good, and they go away, and he is done. So that was day 18. So now we're on day 19. The druid just needs to get his butt moving here a little bit. So what can we do? We can go 1, 2, of course. And then, or we can go down here and search. but we can probably 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and then you're in here. So that's 3 days, which is a little rough. That's going to take us into the last week of the game. And we'll either know we got Herbalist or not. But then literally our last week is going to be running to the chapel. And I think we can make it 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 days. So I think he can make the chapel by the end of the week. So he'd get Herbalist and Pilgrimage, and that would be it. So I think he's actually scoring, and maybe Inquisition, actually. So he probably scores 3 points before the end of the game. I actually think we're going to take the slightly shorter route and just go straight to the chapel, because that's less risky if you... Because this is a 3-day detour, effectively cripples him if this isn't Herbalist. So we might as well go here. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go 4, 6, and start heading to the chapel. So all that to say, move and move to BL6. And he is done. Got to remember we have amazing weather. I did actually cheat the Dwarf out of 1 phase, so I rolled it off camera. He did not find the altar. He is going to search for the damn altar. That is his thing. So he's going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he's going to use his extra phase to quest, to sacrifice, because he's trying to pop this. So he would locate the altar and sacrifice. That would be 2 points and a copy of one of his chits. So that's pretty good. That's something. And he would start his new, right? He would start the new Dwarf, damn it. The new... Though I do need to get a rest phase in there, because this chip is actually not useless. This chip is not super useful, but he does use it sometimes. So a couple rest phases would actually help him get that done also. But we'll try to search through. I don't think anything's going to... I mean, well, he could get goblins on either side of him, and that would suck. Like, if he gets trapped up there with goblins, that is going to suck hard. Let's let this roll for a second, and then we'll go from there. So we're going to do that. Our White Knight is heading back to... he's going to head back to here. He's going to head back to the chapel for sure. The actual question, strangely enough, he has a White Source card. Does he enchant this to get access to the Deep Woods so that he can end his game trying to get Snake Charmer? Because he can just hit those snakes, and he actually gets one, and he's done. Boom. That's easy points. So move, move, move. I mean, there's no reason to hide there. I think what we're going to do... that sort of sucks, though, because... So 1, 2, 3... Because he can't move into the mountains here. But he does get an extra phase, so that's true. So he can move into the woods. Then he can spell X and extra spell, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, done. And he can use his White Source and this chip, and he can actually flip this back over. And what that's going to do is that's going to change that gate again to be able to get him up into the Deep Woods easily. So I think we're going to do that, and that's our move for the White Knight. The Witch King also doing fine. He needs to frickin' learn a spell. Now, unfortunately, the Serpents jumped him here. He melted in the... He nuked the demon, if you recall, and then melted in the mist. So that is an issue. I actually thought of something useful for some of these characters, by the way. So I need to write this down. So I was thinking, um, as the as you have some characters like the Witch King and the Barrow Wight, anyone that can start at the Ghosts gets the trait Loner. And then Loner allows the Lost Castle, not the tile, but the actual clearing. The Lost Castle and the Lost City are dwellings for purposes of turning in quests. Not turning them in, but for burning quests, right? So that just gives them a little bit more, because I used to say, well, the ghosts are, but then the ghosts are problematic because they attack and so on and so forth, right? So I thought maybe some of these, like the Wight, the Barrow Wight, and anyone that starts with the ghosts might get Loner, and that might be a nice, and maybe some of those variant characters that don't have good relations with anyone, like the Goblin or something like that. In any case, so what we have to do here, our big guy, we do need to re up some spells and so on. So we do need to rest. I don't think we have any paths in the deep woods. We don't. We have the cliff. So I would love to back off to somewhere that is safe, but that's a day. That's a whole day to get back to here. Um, that's a little much. We can go 1, 2, 3, which is still a fair bit to get to there. Um, and the reason we want to sort of get out of Dodge is it'd be nice to rest up entirely a little bit and get him prepared for the pretty much the last week a little bit. And what we're going to try to do for the Witch King is locate the Lost Castle. That gives us a treasure cache there. And then we want to find the shrine to then um, learn a spell there, because there's a type 1 and a type 5. That'll give us learn a spell. And learn a spell effectively is worth 1 point plus a half a point, because he would take first place from the druid. So he definitely wants to grab a spell if he can. So I think what I'm going to do is go 1, 2, and then sort of 3 to the woods. So we're going to go move, move, and move into the woods. Now that's not necessarily a safe space, so keep that in mind. We are going to, he gets an extra spell X. He gets I mean, he's going to take a spell phase, of course, because that's going to get him 1 more purple, I think. And then, but he still has 1 phase because he has the extra phase from excellent weather, and we'll take a rest. So we will start resting black back. And then we'll do that for 1 more day and then figure out, where we stand. So I think that's good for day 19. I think we are set. Let's take a quick look at the monster roll for 19. And it's a 3. So we're going to get some action here in the woods, unfortunately, for some of our characters. Witch King is first. And as I said, the Witch King goes 1, 2, 3. He is going to flip purple and then rest a black chit back. Let me put these in order here like that. Unfortunately, he's going to flip that bad boy, Bones, and Bones is going to bring the 2 ogres in. And that sucks because he's going to have to burn that burn another witchmacall there to survive that. The dwarf The dwarf is all searches and a quest phase. So let's get this done. The dwarf rolls 2 dice. He needs a 4 or a 1 to search and find. 3 is not going to cut it. What's 1 search? 2 searches. Come on. Find this altar. There it is. Altar is found on the 3rd search. So we got the altar. That is locate the altar. So that's a point right there. So that is the dwarf's first card. So good for him. He gets 1 extra search here, and he's going to loot the damn altar. No. Darn it. Okay. Well, that's too bad. 5 is not good, and because the altar only has a couple, but that's fine. We didn't expect much to happen. We now do our quest phase, which is to take a large treasure, the glowing gem. We're going to burn the glowing gem at the altar. That sacrifices it, and that's going to give us our second point there. So we got 2 in a day. And that at least makes me feel a little better about where the dwarf ends up. He also gets to copy 1 of his chits. And this is always an interesting question because it's really good for someone like the dwarf to have more chits to fatigue, since he's a fatiguer, right? Right? He almost invariably is going to be burning this chit and something else. Now, another possibility would be this dumb one, but we're not going to do that. We're going to copy this T5 move and paste the T5 move. So that gives him a 13th chit. It's 2 extra asterisks. He has locate the cairn and woodwork. Ooh. Woodwork is ruins W. Certainly not where he wants to go. But locate the cairn is right there. So that's going to be a quick 3rd point for him if he can get there and get that done. So all good, and that is the dwarf's day. The white knight goes 1, 2, 3. He is going to now enchant, which is something you almost never hear the white knight say. He's going to burn that white source, since he has to burn the color magic to do so. I always thought that was a little odd in the 3rd edition, that you only burn the color, but here we are, done. And it flips back, and we are good to go, and we are done right there. And we're going to actually grab a whatchamacall, and we get Thief. That is not, I don't feel super role play of the White Knight for Thief. That's okay. We're heading to the chapel here in a minute anyway. Remember that there's an Inquisition on. Anyone going to the chapel can turn certain things in or even cut themselves and bleed for the gods to get a point there at the chapel. But that's the White Knight, and now it's the Druid's turn, and the Druid is going to go 1, 2, and nothing's going to appear because the Druid doesn't turn this dank over, and this statue is only on a 5. That's it. The Witch King has to unfortunately burn the purple he just created to melt into mist. So that is no longer a safe spot for him. And that sucks a little bit, but there you go. And I don't love any of this. I don't love it. Don't love it at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it doesn't matter. He'll just stay in that hex for now, that clearing for now. He's done with that. So I think that's it. I think we are good to go. It's back to the druid. Druid has no magic chits, so he's sort of a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say exposed. Really. Unfortunately, we cannot run out of that clearing because we just entered this way, so we have to run this way today. So that's not going to help him. So he's only going to get 2 phases tomorrow. So let's put him 1, 2. And that's where he's going to end up. So he's going to end up in Borderland 2. Move, move, 2. And he is done. Our next guy is the Dwarf. I mean, the Dwarf is going to move into the cairn. So he's going to move into the cairn. I think we are going to hide because I don't want the goblins to appear. I'm going to rest and then extra rest to get back these 2 chits for sure. And that's going to be my day there. And we should be a little bit wary because I don't know that I want to be here day 7. I might run into this one instead, but I don't know that I want to be in here. But we'll see. And that is done. I don't think the White Knight, 1, 2, 3, 4, done. He walks in, move, and move to the chapel. And what do we have to do in the chapel for the Inquisition? What do we do here? We go kill any demon or imp, which strangely enough, I should pay attention because our guy here killed a demon while the Inquisition was in place. So actually, he has scored a point, and I did not give him credit for that point last week or last time we were doing this. So he scores the Inquisition. Now he can score it again, I believe, because you can score multiple categories. And he could wound 2 chits of 2 magic chits effectively and get that done. Now, is that worth doing, or does he need to move in the other direction? I actually don't know. Yeah, he killed the demon. The winged demon at the shrine. Did someone kill the other demon? Well, the other demon is dead. Who did it? He killed both demons. The Witch King kill is Demon Hunter here. So the Witch King killed the demons, but the Inquisition was only in week 3 and week 4. So it didn't count it. So, okay, done. So he's going to go and move in. He's going and resting. He is getting to the chapel, and then he needs to tithe. Does he have any cash to tithe? He does. So he's going to do a quest phase in the chapel and tithe, and he will theoretically score the Inquisition. And then finally, you have our guy here, the Witch King. And maybe he does sneak around to here. I just don't like his chit position right now, right? He needs to get his chits in order. And to do that, he needs to sort of be vaguely safe. And this is not vaguely safe. But this is going to put us this is going to cost us a day and another day to get sort of back into here. let's say we're here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So that's 3 days. This move here scores us a point for like the cost of 4 days. Oh god! And this is toward this point in the game is where I get super antsy about how many days everything's taken. The danger would be here. Well, it's not that bad if you think about it. We moved here. So what if we moved here? Oh, right. He does. Oh, you know the funny part? He has his squirrel buddy, and he has not used his squirrel buddy at all this week. He could either walk the woods a day, which I wouldn't use today, but it would be helpful. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because the funny part is walking the woods actually does not save you anything in these hexes. Or he could immediately gain 1d6 rest phases. And no matter, I mean, he has a 50-50 chance of, or more than 50-50, 2/3 chance of getting all these back just instantaneously. So why don't we do this? Using that squirrel to go fetch him nuts, which I think is silly, but we're going to move into the deep woods, or into the castle. Move castle. We're going to use our squirrel. So we'll get 1d6 rest phases. So done. And we might not have a lot of stuff, but we're going to then do extra spell X. We're going to do a spell phase, a spell phase. Let's assume that we have everything back. We at least want 2 blacks and an extra purple. So that is 1, 2, 3 phases. 4 phases. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And he does get a 5th phase. And we're going to use his extra phase. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. We'll use his extra phase to search because he still needs to locate the treasure cache, which, so done. We got that. So I think everybody has a day 20 set up. And, you know, thanks for hanging out on Friday with me. I appreciate it. It was a long day at work and a long evening at work the night before. So Thursday night and Friday sort of sucked. Okay, day 20. What's the monster roll? 4. It is giants and trolls. And the druid is first. And the druid goes here, and he is done. That's a dumb. Our dwarf goes there. He's gonna hide. I'll just roll it here. Is he hidden or not, dwarf? He is hidden, so that's good. And now he's going to rest, and he is going to. I mean, you know. This actually, both of these chits are super important for him, strangely enough. So there you go. So he rests in this, and he is done. And nothing appears there. I don't. Oh, Bones. Wait, Bones C does. So something is going to jump our guy here. That stinks a bit for him. He is hidden, though, because we did roll the hide. And done. And or White Knight is going to rush to the chapel. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's going to pull a quest phase. And that quest phase is going to cost him $6, unfortunately, to tithe to the church. That scores him Inquisition, and he keeps rolling, well on his way to 10 points. And finally, the Witch King moves into there. He's going to use his squirrel, which is 1d6 rest phases. He gets 3, which is just exactly what he needs. Oops, let's move that there and there and there. So everything is back. And then he gets 3 flips. So we're going to flip and flip and flip, I think. And then he gets an extra search. And that extra search is going to be Magic Sight, and we're looking for a 5. Oop, we just locked the dice. I had a 5, damn it. I had a 5. It was there. But lo and behold, he gets a 3. He can discover anyone with treasure cards. He can sniff them out, but doesn't actually find anything. And then a giant's going to show up. Oh, and a troll and another. Oh, geez, all kinds of shit's going to show up in the mountains. Oh, and the vault pops. So we're going to get one here for Bones. We're going to get one here for Roar. And we are going to get... Now, this is unfortunate, but it's okay. It's not a problem for our guy. If we would have... Oh, that can go away, the fairy ring little marker card there. Okay, if we'd have planned for the giant to show up, then we could have, but that's hard to do. We also get the vault pops the troll, so now it's Troll Central up here and Giant Central. That's fine. This is still an auto kill, even if we're not hidden. We don't have to hide with Drain Life. Drain Life lets us walk around pretty much like a badass at any time. We are done with that, and I think we're done with the day. We have 2 possible fights. This fight is pretty trivial. The giant is on our sheet, but keep in mind that this spell is going to hit. We'll use that one, even though we have to fatigue here. This spell is going to hit, and it's going to hit before this because the weapon length of the spell is 17, and so the giant is dead. We're going to score 8. I will admit, I love Drain Life. Not that it's not a little bit overtuned, but I like the fact that it actually brings the Witch King and sort of makes him a tremendous slayer like the other tremendous slayers in the game. The White Knight, the Dwarf, and the Berserker. I think it's sort of a fun niche for him to potentially have. And it does cost him, right? He can only do it twice max. So it is not cheap for him to do. Now, 34 does not change any points there because he is behind the White Knight who has 49. It does put him further ahead of the Dwarf. The Dwarf has to make a call. I mean, he's got to kill these guys, but these guys are dangerous to him because he cannot auto-kill any of these dudes at frickin' all. I think what we do on round 1, it doesn't matter if we ready this or not. So I think what we're going to do is we pop Reflecting Grease, because that means this helmet will eat every wound. And then we can play pretty much anything here. And remember, these guys were hidden. So these guys aren't on our sheet at the moment. And obviously, we're looking for a 1 or a 4. We get a 4. So we're going to line right up. And it doesn't matter if this guy flips or not. He lines up, and we kill him in round 1 with no issues. This guy is now on our sheet. Perfect. We're going to play this duck chit, and we're going to play a heavy attack. And even though he might get the first hit on us, we are going to be able to not take a wound, although it's going to potentially eat the helmet, which does suck a bit. So maybe we don't want a 1 or a 4 this time. Maybe we want... No, we get a 4. So does he flip? That's actually important because... Please flip. He does. So perfect. So we're actually going to... we tie his attack speed, but our weapon's longer, and so we kill him. Done. So that was surprisingly easy. Unfortunately, we did use the grease, but I think that was just an insurance policy in case we missed that first round. That could have gone a lot worse. For us, that is worth 15 points of prowess. 2 times H troll. 15 all by ourselves. And though that does not get us anywhere specifically, oh my god, I think it does. That is 35 points for the dwarf of prowess. And so the dwarf is going to actually steal a point from the Witch King. And now he's catching up to the dwarf and the Witch King now as he edges up the trail there. And he has cleared that out because there's only one. Well, there's one more troll, the tremendous troll. The tremendous troll is a good fight for the dwarf if he can get his weapon readied. And it's otherwise an okay fight for him. Nonetheless, we've cleared that out for now. The big thing we'd be afraid of would be goblins. That's actually the killer for us, is goblins in this case. This dragon also sucks. By the way, this dragon sucks for almost everybody. So I think that's it there. I think we have concluded the day. It is going to be day 21. The Witch King, unfortunately, is going to be absolutely now, well, that's not necessarily true. We do actually have a choice. We could cast Dissolve Spell just so we can work tomorrow, I suppose. That's the question. Do we have it? If we could lose the day and go and do nothing effectively, and I'm not sure what we would do if that's the case. Or we can cast tonight, Dissolve Spell, and that would burn a type 6, which we have no use for really, and a purple, and a fatigue 3 of our things. Or we just suck it up and lose the day on day 21. Which sucks a little. Casting Dissolve is a little bit of a rough haul. Because again, you are going to burn 2 chits tonight. This 3rd chit gets burned. You do day 21. You do day 21. You are mostly safe day 21 because even if everything jumps you can cast Meld into Mist again if you needed to. Yeah, I don't love any of those. I don't love any of this. I don't love it. Don't love it. Sort of risk. You do risk ending up getting in this in sort of the I'm running back and forth between 2 dead death clearings. So I'm not super sure how I feel about any of that. But let's try let's think this through and try it out. So let's say we cast tonight, we cast Dissolve spell. That's going to burn this chip and this chip. Done. And this one, because fatigues at that point. So now we are not melted into mist. So for day 21, we are going to do what? And I would say we are going to extra spell X and spell to have at least this chit ready to go for another drain if we need to. And we have this chit ready to cast Meld into Mist again if we need to. Or this one, actually, which is fine. So we are good to go. So with that, we have all the things we need. We do search. I would do a hide just because you might get something where you go, well, I can hide. And I don't have to melt. Hide, search. And I'm going to. Oh man, that's rough. That's rough. Let's do an extra search. Let's make the assumption we need to find this thing and score that point. So done. So we're going to do that. And then I hate to say it, but on day 22 we're going to use the squirrel again because the squirrel is exhausted until the end of the week. But then we can use them again, and now we get some of these chits back, if not all of them, and you're done. And that is on day 21. But or day 22. So let's look at the druid now for day 21. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. He's making his way up to that chapel, and that's what he's doing. He's going to move into the cliff. And it's slow, and I don't love it, but that's what we're doing. We're going to score Pilgrimage, and we're going to try to score... Oh, shit. So we know that this isn't useful to Herbalist. Wow, that sucks. And I don't know that. Well, I mean, so we gambled wrong, effectively, right? It's like being a goalie in a soccer shootout. You just have to guess most of the time. Like he's so close, you have to guess. So we're cutting it so close. In any case, this is a day. This is 2 days. This will be 3 days. So we won't get there until like the middle of the week anyway. Then we're gonna have to see what the board looks like, and hopefully we will be able to score a couple extra points before we before we kick off. So I think we're still okay. We do get an extra phase, and I think we're going to use that extra phase to rest. That shit. The dwarf. Well, I mean, the dwarf is in as decent a shape as he's going to be. I would argue that what he needs to do is he is going to rest a chit. Oh, and he does get a -1 to locate, strangely enough, because he is in the tile with the Lost City, right? So I forgot about that entirely. He theoretically could have located some stuff a little earlier. I don't know for sure, but so rest once. I say we search. Well, we're going to hide once. How's that? Let's do that, actually. Hide once. 100%. And I hate to say we should probably hide twice just in case. But let's do that. Because we are going to be sitting on a goblin. If we weren't on a goblin space, it would be a little bit more end of the day. And I think end of the day, I think we're turning in these 2 cards for the White Knight. So this is the end of day 20. We're going to burn 2 cards and get 2 new quest cards here. We get Envoy, maybe. Pub Crawl is useless at this stage in the game. That is not cool. And Goblins in Peril, sort of useless because those goblins aren't even on the board. Envoy we might have a chance to do if we can figure out where are the other natives that we are going to envoy. And they're not super close. I suppose we could hang up here, the large campfire. I don't think we like the bash cars, right? I think we sort of don't. Well, they're unfriendly, and so that can be envoy. Oh no, right? 2 separate groups you're friendly or allied with. No. We have 1 neutral and friendly or allied. So the woodfolk would count at the small campfire. The company would count at the large campfire. But we have sort of blocked those off of ourselves to make it easier to get up here to Snake Charm. So I don't quite know. So I don't love Envoy either. But having said that, I think the Paladin is done with the Inquisition because he cannot. I suppose he could kill a demon or an imp, right? He has performed a quest phase and he has done his thing. So I suppose he could kill a demon or imp. He does have to be a little bit careful on day 20, on the day 21, simply because he is drawing dragons to him at all times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 he could get there. And then largely then he needs to sort of make decisions as to what he does for the end of the game. And he could actually maybe even cheese the end of the game and just try to get some stuff out of the vault. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to Linden Woods 4. Move, and move into Linden Woods 4. And that's an extra move at the end. And he is, or he stays there, but I don't like that. Let's just get moving here. Yeah, it sucks. Oh god. Like 1 extra day and you would turn those cards over and maybe get those cards out, because Envoy you're probably not getting. And pub crawl you're not getting. It'd be nice to get a card that you could complete. You have Snake Charmer, which you know you can complete. It's right there. So the question is, do you spend a day and hope to get lucky on card draws, or do you charge ahead thinking that is your winning prowess in Great Treasures? The only other thing that could happen for you is you open the vault and find something spectacular in terms of, something worth cash, and you pound out the cash. You just run back and you score the cash. Or you wait a single day and hope something really cool happens with these two cards. What do you think, Scott? I don't know if you're still there or if you're paying attention. We do still have our young knight, by the way. He has not yet died. I'm going to leave this like this for a minute, and we're going to look at the Witch King, which we've already done, right? The Witch King has a spell X and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a fifth thing. So he is going to flip one of these. He's going to hide just in case. I mean, literally, it's do you just rush Snake Charmer and go, well, I've got to make my way through the deep woods anyway. It's going to be a little bit fighting GM. Oh, are you playing COH still? Do you want to play that abiotic factor at some point? Do you want to try? Like it's effectively a survival crafting game, but it's essentially if the putzes from Half-Life were trying to survive when all this shit went down. It might be sort of fun and funny for us to play together, maybe. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna head out. I'm not gonna hope for this card. I'm gonna head the hell out, and we will get this guy to score our 10th point for sure. And then we will either loot the shrine, loot the vault, or the pool to sort of get some gold and then run back. Well, I can't play tonight. I'm here. I'm doing this tonight. But I just mean like on Mondays or something. Do you want to start a new multiplayer thing? So we have day 21 for everybody. We got 2 dice, if you remember. So there's purple magic in every clearing. We're going to roll 2 dice. The first thing that's going to happen is everything's going to return to life and leave the board. So we got this guy. The ogres are leaving the board. The wolves down here are leaving the board. The giant spider from the cairn is gonna exist again. But that's it. Not a ton of shit came back. So, done. Okay. Let's get our guys going here. We got the Witch King is first. The Witch King does a spell X and a spell. So I want to flip this chit to make sure we get one. We are hiding. I'm going to roll 2 dice just right here. It is a 5, so we are hidden. And then what do we got? We got 3 searches, and those searches are on the magic site table here. And we're looking for discover chits 5s. Or 1s. 1s or 5s. No 5s. 3 is sniff out treasure. Not good. That's 1 of 3. Come on, you got this. No, that's 2 of 3. Oh, flippin' A. Okay, done. We didn't find it. We found nothing. And what appears? 3s and 5s. Oh, I don't see any of that. No crosses, no nothing. So that is safe for here. But we did not find what we expected to find. Done. The dwarf, he is going to hide twice. That is probably for the best. The dwarf hides 2 times. He's going to fail the first time. Oh, come on. No, don't fail this time, buddy. And succeed the second time. So he is hidden. He searches 3 times for the cairn. Has he found the cairn yet? I don't think he has. No, he's found the altar and the lair. So let's find that cairn. He finds it first try. That is good. Good for you. So cairn is found. Locate the cairn. Done. That is a point. That is his 3rd card all of a sudden. So he has roared back to life. Good for him. He gets 2 searches in the cairn, and he fatigues each roll, right? Yeah, so he's gonna fatigue twice, and he has an extra chit to do it, so he's gonna do it. He's gonna roll 2 times. Let's see what he gets in the cairn. He's gonna get the 5th card. Not great. It's the amulet. Womp womp. Okay. It's cancels a curse. And he gets 1 more, and he's already paid fatigue for it. Let's roll low this time. Nope, a 6. So he gets the last card in the deck. And he's found the lost keys. So nothing great. And now all hell breaks loose. He's going to get Howl 4, Howl 5, and Cairn are going to pop. Oh, wait, the pool pops up top. I'm sorry. That's... So Howl 4, Howl 5 are Spears Goblins. And we're going to get the Cairn also is the Tremendous Spider down here. And then I realized the pull hit up top. Right, so we get the pull up top with our Giant, the pull hit also, because we had 3 and 5. So, oof. That is not what the dwarf wants to see. But he did locate the Cairn. So yay. I mean, that's good. I just think that now he's in a bit of a stuck condition because you're not killing 6 goblins as the dwarf. That is not the fight he is built for. I think what we're going to do, so that's that. The White Knight charges up ahead to here, and he is done. And then the Druid goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he is going to rest once. And I think what we're going to do to rest is going to pull back a gray. We're going to pull back that gray chit there, and we are done. We have one possible combat. That's the dwarf. I think the dwarf runs from the clearing. And I think he's going to have to end up here because I think everything else is a little bit dicey for him. Now, he does get a card, and it is Navigator. Now, the nice thing about Navigator for the dwarf is he has 2 of 3 already. So the dwarf actually... so Locate the Cairn is done. He gets Navigator, but he has 2 of 3 because the old stuff counts. So that ain't terrible. He just needs to find a 3rd that he can get. And 1/4 would be good. It's generally not super useful. It's not as useful as this one, I usually feel, but it is a little bit, it's possible that that's a thing. So good, all good. And we are, yeah. think we're ready for the next week. So amazing weather goes away. So amazing weather is dead. We will just drop that. We do draw 3 more events. The Archmage's Tower appears. A broken wagon appears. And a dead adventurer appears. So let's get the chits out. So we got Mage Tower, wagon, and a dead guy. Our squirrel is reset, the Witch King squirrel, so that is good. So Mage Tower appears in a random clearing. 3/2, Caves 2. So a little bit wacky. It's like it's not a tower, it's a dwelling, right? We're going to get we get a tile, wrong tile. Let's roll one of these tiles. 1, Awful Valley. So the wagon is in the Awful Valley. So it is there. The broken wagon is right there. That's probably a non-starter for most characters. And then the dead adventure is 9/4 Mountain 4. Oops, that's the Dwarven Pathfinder. Is he dead too? No, he is not dead. We'll put the Dwarven Pathfinder back. Poor guy. Oh, it won't drop. Oh, because I have the search open. It doesn't like that. Mountain 4. So the Mage Tower is sort of in play, but not really. It smells unlikely that anyone's going to get there. The broken wagon smells very unlikely anybody gets there. So I think these two are sort of out of play. I think the one is between the Witch King and the Knight. Do one of them go for this dead adventurer here? I think the Witch King actually gets more out of that than you think, simply because he would get 2 points, because he would bring the adventurer back to the chapel and then do the Inquisition and get 2 points there. So he could get 7.5 points, 8.5 if he could actually find this stupid Lost Castle. So that's where we're at. Let's get this moving here. So the Druid, a little bummed about where the Druid has ended up, but let's go 1, 2, 3 into those woods. So move, and move. And then, yeah, we're going to rest again to get chits back and be done. The Dwarf. So the Dwarf has to get out of dodge. So he goes 1, 2 into the ledges. So move into the ledges. And this is where the Dwarf sort of hurts, right? And he's going to hide and he's going to rest. Done. He can't move 2, even though it would be useful for him to move 2 in this case. Okay, that's cool. That is cool. So we're going to hide, and move for the White Knight. Hide, move into the vault. Done. And now our Witch King here. So I'm going to use the squirrel. I don't think we have to use it during the day or whatever. Can also do the Falling Blood, done once a week. So this is the week. We're going to use the squirrel. He gets us, and he only gets us 2 chits back. That's actually not as bad as it sounds. We're going to take this one back and that one back. Man, that might be a bad idea. Yeah, it is. We're going to take this and this back. Done. And that's fine. And so our day 22 is going to be, we are going to execute, we still need to find this treasure cache. So that is key. Still need this damn treasure kit. The only thing that would suck. Now we're still good. We're still good. So that's fine. Yeah, we can't. We don't need to do this Monday. I might. Maybe I'll pick it up and I'll do a prelim run, and maybe I'll do that on Monday, and then I'll talk up our, our multiplayer, and we'll see. Maybe it's not that great, and I'll just go, I don't know, and then I'll return it and be done. Or everybody says it's actually pretty fun, and it's like because I remember we were talking. You said, hey, I don't want to do another survival game. It's just, you go to a place and you're doing survival. And this is like that survival, but it is different because it's a lot more buildy in the sense of it's not buildy in the sense, but it's this weird, almost not horror vibe, but sort of comedic horror vibe, I think, because it's, you're a scientist, you're not a warrior, and all these monsters have just appeared, and you have to figure out how to survive. So, and you do a lot of traps and stuff like that. It's only $20. I thought, all right. So what are we doing here as the Witch King? I definitely think that we do need to consider, spell-wise, sort of where we end up. So I do think we want to do our spell X and maybe one spell phase. I don't necessarily need a hide phase because I can melt if I need to. The only problem would be, so anything that comes in there but the octopus, any one thing, he can kill. So if another giant shows up or this troll shows up, so the problem will be actually one thing won't show up. It's either two serpents, the octopus, giant, and a troll. Like it's everything, right? So I think what we're gonna do is we are going to assume that if stuff shows up on us, we have to get out of dodge. And so we're gonna do search, because we don't have an extra phase either. So 1, 2, 3, 4, done. We'll try to get this darn cash found. So 1, 2, 3. I think day 22 is ready to roll here. So let's toss that ugly red dice out of here. Let's get the gentle white die that's not going to harm us. Oh, bats. That sucks. Yeah. And it looks like day 22. And we got the druid first, Witch King, Dwarf, Knight. The druid goes 1, 2, 3, and then he rests. And we're going to pull back another gray chit. There. It's not gray yet, I know, but it will be soon. The Witch King is going to spell X and spell to get more purple magic. He's going to search 3 times. He is, if you recall, looking for a 5 or a 1. He's got this. That's a 2. Counters. Again, sort of useless. Hidden enemies with weapons. Sure. 1. 2 is sniff out treasures. And 3, finally he discovers the goddamn lost castle. That's actually good. So he has, he found the castle. That is his 5th card. That brings him to 6.5 points. So pretty good, right? Pretty good. It's not great for the last week, but and he gets a large treasure. So it could be really nice for him, actually. Those are small treasures. Large treasures are here. He pulls one. It is the lucky charm. Wow. If active when using a table, roll a single die and not a bunch of dice. And that's cool. And that's it. And he is done with that. And let's see what the hell happens. And he gets Quiet Night, playing for Birdsong, and he gets 4 rest phases. That's actually sort of useful for him right now. Done. But I think some stuff's going to jump on him. Well, maybe not, right? Because Bones M. That's yeah, Bones M. Yep. Okay. He's going to get 2 bats. Not ideal. And he didn't hide, so I think he is stuck there momentarily, and he's going to have to cast to melt into mist this evening. We'll worry about that this evening. That's a tonight problem. That's not a today problem. The dwarf goes here, and the dwarf is going to hide and rest 1, and he'll bring that guy back, and he will hide. And he does hide, and that's good because I think he gets ruins. He gets the 3 bats. So he is hidden. And he gets ruins. And that actually does really suck because he can't flee back this way, which he just entered the clearing, so he has to flee backwards. So he has to stick it out and hide. And so that is that's a death situation for him. If he gets 3 bats, he's probably hosed. So we'll see if the dwarf lives tomorrow. Done. The white knight is going to roll a bunch of hides here. 2 hides. He fails 1. Oh, he fails the second one and then walks right in. Now the bats, fortunately for the white knight, this guy did not. He didn't hide. So he is sort of stuck there. Still not ideal. Still not a great fight for the white knight. Yeah, so let's, for the battles for this, we're going to cast. So it's very easy. He's casting. We're going to cast Melt into Mist again. So this chit is burned. Melt. And done. And we are complete now. The white knight has to fight this out. I don't think he has another option. Now, here's the good part. Oh, see, he's got a buddy, though. So guess what? I think this is a no-brainer now for the knight. So we're going to put this on the buddy sheet. And that guy's going to sit there, and he's going to just tangle with our guy. He's going to just sort of dodge, duck, dodge. In the meantime, we're going to ready our weapon and then play this tremendous. And that's going to kill our guy. So this is an auto kill as long as we are hidden or have our guy, and we do. The troll lines up there. That's fine. But our weapon attacks first because it's the longest, and we kill the troll with tremendous damage, and that's it, and we're done. And all we had to do was just have our buddy call the troll. So we get T troll. That's 8 more points. And we get 1. That's 6. Well, we don't get a fame. No, sorry, that's 8. Sorry, 8. 8 there. It's 67. He is up to 67. Oh, yeah, because we didn't count the tremendous dragon. We are actually even further ahead than we expected there. So 67 points of prowess. And we've cleared the troll out of the way. And we can run up to Snake Charmer here if we need to run into Snake Charmer. We melt, so that is done. So he's melty. And that's a good question. Like, what is now the intent here? We have 2 bats. I think okay. So I think we're done. I think that's it for the day, right? I think 22 is over. The dwarf is the only one who's in actual, honest to goodness peril right now. Everyone else, I think, can mitigate their situation. Let's talk about the druid. The druid is going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the druid is move, 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 and move to the chapel. That is going to complete Pilgrim, and that's going to be a point for him. Tomorrow he can complete whatchamacall. He can complete Inquisition, and that'll be 2 points for him there. So not bad. That'll get him up into, and the end of the day, he's going to turn in cards, would be my guess. So done. The dwarf, well, the dwarf has to hide. So first thing is he hides. Done. If he hides, we're in great shape. If not, he's dead. Then we move out, and then we're going to, I suppose, rest just cause. The White Knight, that is not fatigued, so we are good. Now let's put this in the dead pool so we're not losing him. The White Knight is going to... what is Snake Charmer? Encounter a serpent. Done. So I am going to make a call here. I think like most of the other ones, the other serpent is assumed to disappear. So I think that's where we sort of end up there. So I am going to, of course, hide because I don't want that octopus to show up, really, if I'm to be quite honest with you. So we're going to hide, and move to the shrine. We should be scoring Snake Charm at that point. Done. The Witch King. So we got the Witch King here. The Witch King can roll 1 die now and everything, which is sort of fun. Damn, I would love to. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So that is 2 days. So this is 4 more days, effectively. If we expect to get back, we're going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we went, did all the stuff, came back on day 26, we would get there. We might be able to learn a spell. Let's go with that. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the Dead Adventurer. So we're going to move to the Adventurer. Done. And that's going to be our plan. And we're going to play Quiet Night. And we are going to rest all of our chits before anything else happens. And that's going to also give us another card to play with here. We get Woodsman, which is one of the campfires, right? Small campfire. So I'm going to... So the Witch King's going to back out, try to get this guy, bring him down there. He's going to try to score his Inquisition point and score a point for the Dead Adventurer. So that'll give him 2 more. That'll bring him to 8+. And then he still has at least a shot to either get this campfire or get his spell. The spell's worth a tiny bit more because the spell's worth an extra half point because he would be leading in spells. Done. So think day 23 is settled. Day 23 is settled. Let's get moving here. And it's a 3. So ogres, wolves, goblins, and octopus. So this is very important to. Hey, what's up, Ravenrock? How are you? How the heck are you? I haven't talked to you in a little while. White Knight is first. This is sort of important because the octopus is going to be prowling today. He fails the first hide. Oh, God. He succeeds at the second hide. That's good. So he's going to go there. We'll worry about his encounter with the. So I think his encounter with the snakes. We're just going to do it. I'm doing fine. I am doing okay. Work's a little bit of a drag, just in general, but I've started to exercise this week, and it hurts like hell. Like, it's ridiculous. Right now I'm drinking coffee. Once I finish this, I'm going to go and probably grab. I might grab the bullet rye, but we'll see in a minute here. Let me get through this. So Snake Charmer, he's going to score. I am going to take the snake as a companion. So we will take one. The other one disperses back to the sheet here. And we get a snaky companion to go with our snake charming ways here. Done. That is our 6th card. And that's going to bring us to our 10th point. So the White Knight definitely, he scores the light win of getting 10 points. I always feel that is the successful game marker. Unfortunately, though, now remember, his companion actually is not hidden. So we are going to have to now fight the octopus, which does suck a bit. But there we go, done. And now it's a druid's turn. Druid goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and I should have run the druid to the dead adventurer, but I did not. And we're going to score pilgrimage right there. So that's it. So we score it. That's a point. We don't actually get the second point of it. Oh, we got rescue. That's actually intriguing for where we're at as the druid. So let me do that right now. Let me write that down. So we scored pilgrimage. We get rescue. No, that's not quite what I want it to look like. Done. The druid gets his second card. He has 5.5 points. And he now has rescue. And that's nice because he can just pick any tile that he's not in and mark a thing of dudes and say, I want these guys to be. And he probably will. He might just do the ghosts and just go, yep, I'm gonna go up, pop those ghosts, and be done with that. So that will be that's a tomorrow problem again. The dwarf needs to hide or else he is trapped by bats. How we doing? He does hide. And he moves there and he rests. And that is that's good. Good for him. So I'm going to rest and bring this one out and pull this one back. And done. So the dwarf lives to continue his game. The Witch King moves to the adventure space 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are done. He hasn't located it yet, so he does have to locate that bad boy, and he is done. So now it is day 24, and I haven't been moving the day marker. I apologize. So day 24 is coming. So the druid, we're going to roll rescue. We absolutely are. And so rescue is this. Random native group, 1d6 plus 2. We roll this die here. 5, the company. So the top member of the company now is trapped. We'll put a rescue chit under him. And he's trapped by the ghosts. The reason why rescue is such a nice card is you get to pick where the hell it pops, as long as it pops on a monster space right there, and it does, and he is done. But the druid is going to do a quest phase first because he is in the chapel. I suppose technically he does have to roll if he gets in trouble yesterday night with the night. He does not. He's neutral with them until now. He's normally unfriendly, but since the Inquisition is on, he can say, "Hey, I'm your buddy," and he is. So he's going to do a quest phase, and he's going to that's wound his 2 chits there. 2 magic chits. So 2 astraces he's going to wound, and he's going to score, we know, Inquisition this day. But once he's done with that, he's going to walk right out of there and go where? 1, 2, 3. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to spell X and spell. We're going to get ourselves some gray magic. That gives us a summon animal charge, which is what we're going to need. And then I would argue we just make the move out. Oh, or actually, well, okay, sorry. End of the day, day 23, we're going to turn these bad boys in too, because these are not going to be in play here. So we could take cover and woodwork. Woodwork is ruins W. I don't think that's good for us. And then take cover. So woodwork and take cover. Take cover allows him to hide at any time. Woodwork, he has to get to ruins W. Ruins W is halfway across the map down here, nowhere near where we're at, way up here. So I think that one is just a dead card for him this last 4 days. We're going to make the move. Yeah, I think we're fine. I think what we do is let's move into the mountain, and I think we'll be good. We want to get that rescue taken care of, right? So we did score a point, Pilgrim. Let me mark that for sure. We are going to score Inquisition today. Our dwarf is up and about, not being chased down. He's going to move into the cave. That's 1, 2. So here's the question for the dwarf. What are we trying to find? 1, 2, 3. I think we're going to try to get Navigator scored. And the main problem we're going to have is this ruins C still can draw this last thing of goblins. So that sort of sucks. So we're going to go into here and hide. So we're going to move 3, and then use our extra phase to hide. So move to cavern 3, and then extra hide. I think it's cavern. Is it cavern or caves? I always forget cavern. Number 3, White Knight. The White Knight does get a card because he scored Snake Charm. Oh, wait, and he had to... Did he have to fight, right? Oh, yeah, I didn't do his battle. I'm sorry. He has a fight. So this is the previous night. He could be dead. Who knows? he might be dead. But probably not. What we're going to do is we are going to We're going to put our snake on the line. We're going to put our guy on the line. The young knight will draw we will then play this chit to ready our weapon, and we will play a tremendous chit to use our weapon, and we will cover our poor knight's move here. Probably what happens is ends up a stalemate, but let's see. So a 1 or a 4, he stays put. We roll a 1, so the octopus stays put, and we actually kill him in one fell swoop. Even the dreaded octopus, if you have buddies, becomes easier to manage. That is 8 more prowess. That brings him to 75, which actually doesn't matter. What matters is he's ahead of everybody else, and he's way ahead of everybody else. So I'm pretty sure he wins prowess that day. So what is the next day then hold for him? So Snake Charmer is dead. He has this quest card. He has Dragon Slayer. Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, strangely enough, that's good for him because he has the dragon essence. He's literally carrying dragon grabbing juice. I don't know what to say at that point. The shrine has 4 treasures. The vault has 5 treasures. I think we head down to the vault. So I say we hide once, move to the vault. And now we're going to do a search. And we're actually going to hope we pull a dragon. We're going to kill a dragon and score our 11th point. But we can also hope that we pull something out of the vault. And we got our snake buddy. Our knight is riding the snake. Like this is a whole, we have a whole family thing going on here. So the Witch King is going to, we have to locate this guy. So I think we're going to search. I think we're just going to sit and search on this and hope that we grab him. Done. And what did the druid do? He's just moving up into the mountains. Okay, and that's fine too. Okay, so done. All right, good. We've got day 24 written. Let's roll it. Now I got a bug in here. Spiders and imps. And who is first? The White Knight is first. So the White Knight moves down to here. He is hiding. And he does. And no spiders or imps are going to appear. And since we didn't roll a 1, I think the other thing is all the dragons are out. So maybe that's not great for him. I got to find if I can find a dragon sort of quickly. I suppose I could go to here and tap him and get that point. That's going to take 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. So that's a lot of days, but we might be able to pull that off. I will check the time. We did search for the vault just in case. So I did roll a hide. So did I roll that hide? I don't know. But yeah, so roll the hide. Now let me roll the search. He finds the vault. So that's sort of cool. So let me mark the vault off. That sucks a little bit because... Okay, that's cool. No, it's all good. All good. We are rocking it. So, and nothing jumps onto his space. Our guy here is searching. He's using magic sight, which means I should actually give magic sight some. I will actually allow magic sight to. I got to write all these down, right? Because magic sight. I'm going to allow it to find him on a 5-3 or a 1. because the dead adventurer is carrying a treasure. So that's interesting in that it makes that easier to find than most folks. We got 4 searches. 4. That is nothing. It's spells, and we don't have spells. Magic Site is so wonky. That's 1, 3. He does find him because he sniffs out the treasure. So there you go. So the dead adventurer, he is going to take the evidence or whatever, his pack or some such, and I think he gets a small treasure from the small treasure pile. He does not yet get a VP unless he turns him back to a garrison. That is a lame flippin' treasure. Play any number of asterisks this round. He is done. Spiders do appear, by the way. 2 of them appear. One appears here in patter, and the other one appears directly on our guy. Sucks for us a little bit. We will deal with that at the end of the day. The dwarf goes 1, 2, and now he can hide, and he's going to hide with a single die because the dwarf in the caves gets to hide on 1 die, and he does. Done. And then the druid, I think the druid might walk right into it here. So the druid quests to pledge to the Inquisition. He wounds 2 asterisks of magic chits, which is this one he's going to wound. He cuts and blah, right? And he scores the Inquisition. Done. That's his 3rd point in cards. Gives him 6 points and a half total. And then, I think, what does he do? He spell X's and spells to flip that shit. And then he moves into the mountains, unfortunately, and right into the spider. This spider does not roam because it is blocked by our Witch King. Done. And I think that's the day. And we have a couple combats. This is not the fight the druid wants to fight. So the druid is going to use his move L2 to run, and he has to fatigue this chit to then run this direction out, and he is done. That fight is done. The Witch King has to burn another purple to become right, we have to the Witch King can theoretically roll a single die now on everything. Boom, and he melts into mist, and he is done there. Not a super big fan of where this is leading us because you can't run here. So that sucks a little bit. Don't think we have any other fights. I do think that's it. So let's write down day 25. So it is day 25. Not a big fan. The druid moves back to the chapel. Gonna hide once. And then move and move. I believe both of those are not mountains. To here, I don't know that's good for him. I think he has to move to the chapel. Well, no, I think I'm good. I think this fly is killing. There's this fly just flying around, and he's big enough that he's clunky and slow and makes noise, and I'm not going to swat at him for fear of ending up on like live stream fail. kind of thing, right? Like, like that's I'm just gonna leave him be for now until he totally drives me nuts. So we're gonna try to sort of slide past these spiders. And then tomorrow we move into the valley where the ghosts are. We rest up what we need to rest up to make this a useful fight for us, and we'll take cover if we need to. Done. Our dwarf is looking to score navigator. And so we're going to look to move to 1. We have to hide. We're going to do an extra search. Done. Our knight. So 1, 2, 3. That's a day. That's a day. This is a day. So that's 1 day to here, 2 days to here, 3 days to here. This is the 4th day from right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, God. Okay. That's the 4th day. So if we search anymore, we will never get to we can't get to the dragon. And the dragon essence sort of pointless because we don't because there's no more dragons on the board. All the dragons are accounted for. I want to kill this thing so bad. It's going nuts, going a little nuts. How do flies, like, our windows are open maybe 10 seconds out of a day. Darn flies. Can't believe it. Yeah, I think we just got to move. I don't think we have. I don't really think we have a choice. It's possible we draw something useful out of the. I think we got to move. So we go 1, 2, 3 into the Linden Woods. We'll hide once. It's not actually worth it to hide because there's nothing to hide from. But we're going to get here. We cannot get to here. The next day here. The 3rd day to here. The 4th day we hide and go in. And done. Yeah, Scott's back to COH for as much as he can bear it. So I think we head to the Cursed Valley, or so we either head back. I think what we're going to do, we're going to take. I think we take. I think we take the risk. Which means hide, move. So I think the move is hide, move. And that is the chapel. And then we can do a quest phase, and that should theoretically score us Inquisition and the point for the Dead Adventurer. If we make the hide roll, but we have the lucky charm, so it's 1 in 6. There you go. That's what we need. We need our bourbon live stream. That's gonna be our next one. What do you think? We just can't do all the fancy ones. we're doing bourbon for PA people. Okay, so I think this day 25 is ready to roll here. Oops, let's not do that yet. Let's roll this. 6, so bats. Well, no more bats are going to appear, but the bats that are out are going to roam. The druid is first. The druid moves back to the chapel. He hides with 1 die, because the druid always hides with 1 die. So he's definitely going to make this. No, he fails it. And then he's going to run back into that spider. Right? Yes, he does. So that actually burns a day for him. Or he takes cover, which is what he's going to do. So he's going to burn this take cover card to automatically become hidden when he fails the hide roll. So he hides and then ends up here. And he is done. The Witch King hides with 1 die. PA basic bourbon, 100%, I'm all in. He gets here, he's down to here, and he's going to do his quest phase to burn Inquisition. So he has succeeded in the Inquisition. He also turns in the Dead Adventurer body for 2. He has scored 7 cards, and that gives him his 8th and a half point. Done. The White Knight goes 1, 2, 3, and he is done. And the Dwarf moves up here. He does have to hide because he's worried about those goblins. He does hide. And now he's got to roll a 1, 2, or 3 to find this path. He doesn't. Okay, so he is done today also, but nothing else appears, and that is the day. The pet snake is the White Knight has it, and it can help fight. It can help him pretty reasonably so, I think, in most cases. So, yeah, and any buddies do help a lot of these, some of these characters, primarily because it allows you to fight it takes a creature off your attacking you and allows you to get your weapon ready, usually easier, and that is key for the White Knight because of the specific weapon that he uses. So this is going to be for day 26. For day 26, the druid is moving into the valley. So move into the valley. I think he's going to rest 2 times and he's going to hide. Done. He does get to draw a card, and he gets big game. Well, that's just dumb. He's going to call that before the beginning of the day. Big game. He's going to call for medium. He needs to kill a medium creature. The dwarf hide, search, and his extra search phase to try to get navigator done. That's probably most of his rest of his game. The White Knight is going to plow up into the cliff. Move into the cliff. Done. And the Witch King, okay. So we've done all the things. So we are going to toss that chip. That is done. This is done. Two, three, four. It's not ideal. So the question comes down to, so we have 3 days. Ideally, what we want to do is get to the shrine and learn a spell. So if we hid and went 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 to here, we would not have a good... We don't have a lot of time is the issue. We do not have a ton of time. So we could hide and go 1, 2, 3, then go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go 1, 2, and have 2 search phases. But you would have to roll and get super, super lucky, right? And that's 3 days. Here you can go 1, 2, 3, 4 if you melt into mist. But then you are stuck because you have to go 1, 2, 3, and you have to be hidden. And then you go 1, and then you have 3 phases to search if you succeeded all your hides, etc. We could spell X and spell to flip 1 more purple, and then go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then go 1, 2, and then it's all about the same at that point. You're going to get 2 phases, maybe 3 if you're super lucky. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to extra spell X, spell phase. That's going to give us an extra magic there. We have 3 phases remaining. So we could get here. And then the next day, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2. That's just not great. That's just not a great. You get 2 phases. Or we go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be our second melt into mist. So all of our purple there. The best you can do is 3 phases. 3 search phases. So, okay, well, that's it. So we're going to do spell X and spell. And then we're going to move, and move into the valley after we melt into mist, thus bypassing all the dudes. Done. All right. So we're going to roll the die for the day here on day 26. What is the monster roll on 26? Goblins, ogres, wolves, goblins, octopus. The Witch King is first, and the Witch King is going to enchant that chit, and then he burns it, actually, to melt into mist. And then goes 1, 2, 3. And he is melted into mist. He will draw this guy, but he cannot be blocked by him. So there you go. The funny part is that actually hurts the druid. So the druid is, as always, is hurt by other people. The druid always wants to be alone. The white knight goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't think anything appears. The druid goes... What is the druid doing here? The druid is moving into the valley. Unhidden. Bam. Not his ideal fight there. He doesn't get to rest. Doesn't get to hide. Done. We'll see how that goes for him. The ghosts are upon him. And then the dwarf. What is the dwarf doing today? The dwarf is hiding once and searching. And he needs to hide. He needs to make this hide because ruins he's going to get, and he does hide. He's going to search 2 times. He needs a 1, 2, or 3, and he gets it. So he finds the cavern, 1, 4. He completes Navigator. He gets his VP. That's his 4th card point. So he actually has done better than it looked the first week. The first 2 weeks he looked terrible. He gets 3 more passages. I don't think it matters, really. And then these guys appear. Oops, not that guy. Different guy. These guys. Because of ruins C, the sword goblins show up. Not his favorite thing to fight. I don't know what else he's going to mark off. It doesn't really matter. So I'm not going to super worry about it. Actually, done. I believe that's our day. I do believe that's our day. Druid. Druid's got a fight. Druid's got 2 ghosts on his sheet. Who'd have thunk? Because this number, this time, is less than anyone on his sheet, he can cast Summon Animal. So he's going to do that. So he burns 2 more chits. A lot of fatigue, the Druid. He's feeling a little old. And let's see what we get. We cannot attack because we played a spell. Oh, and we get... So this is intriguing. We can get 2 wolves, which is, I think, what we're going to take. Because what the upgrade that we made to summoning spells was that they can actually... They can draw things off your sheet on the round they're summoned, which is actually not sort of how they used to work. You could never... So it always meant you almost had to always be hit effectively to cast them. But in this case, we're going to draw... If you can make the cast, you get to draw these things off of your sheet. So we're going to play them on this side. And I think we're going to play a... we're not going to play... Well, we can't play an attack this round. So we've already fatigued. Done. So this is round 1. And this is how round 1 sort of shakes out for our two guys. We're looking for a 1 or a 4. We get a 1. So boom, these guys are going to go like that. Does this ghost flip or not? He does. So he flips to that side. Down. So what happens is these guys both hit each other. He hits first and does light damage. But since this is a medium creature, nothing happens. And this guy kills him. Done. So that is, the guy is dead. The ghost in this one, is it a 1 or a 4? It's a 6. So he goes down to the bottom there. And then we roll, and he does not flip. So everyone misses. There you go. Done. So that was round 2. And something got killed. So now we have 2 rounds. This combat's going to last to round 4. And we're going to deploy this dude onto the sheet. Like this, and him like that. Both these guys are going to try to attack this ghost, but we can't control what side they're on because we deployed. So now we have to roll for both our wolves. Our wolves do... This guy goes down to the bottom, which is good. And this guy goes down 1, which is not as good. Does wolf 1 flip? He does not. Does the ghost flip? Let's do that one. He does not. Does wolf 2 flip? This is the important one. He does not flip. So these guys are actually going to hit at the same time and kill each other. But I don't care. It's a summon. Who cares? These go away anyway. We get 6. We get 2 ghosts. And since we killed them with a spell, it counts for us killing both of them. That's 6 prowess, which gets us a whole 9 total. So not really a big deal there. I didn't even write down the original 3 just because. But having said that, we scored 2 things. rescue, and big. Well, we haven't scored big game yet. I'm sorry. Big game gets tipped, and we have to return to a dwelling. Rescue does get scored, though. And we get this guy. And we do get another card, even though we get take cover. So there you go. So we do score a card. Rescue, pop, we scored it. The Druid gets his 4th card point. He is, I think, in for 7.5 points. And he is looking to get his 8.5 point once we return big game. To a dwelling, which the dwelling we're going to return to is obviously this one here. Is there another fight on board? I don't believe so, because I think the dwarf is not going to fight these goblins. He is good. He's like, I'm good. I saw Death Surge and Ghost of the Scrapyard the other day. There you go. Still playing COH, Raven, eh? That's cool. So I think what we are doing is we're writing day 27. So I think this one's easy. We hide and move to the chapel. And we theoretically turn in big game. Theoretically. If we don't, we'll take cover and still go and turn it in. There's no, at this point, wasting a day. Not super useful. We do the dwarf gets a quest card, even though again, locate the horde. Well, I wish that mattered, but locate the lair would be great. But we've because we've done that. But okay, locate the horde. I think what we're going to do is go 1, 2, and 3 into the evil valley. I think we're going to move. So extra move, and move to the valley. Done. White Knight is still on his quest. 1, 2, 3. He moves to Borderland 2. So move, and move to BL2. We'll hide, of course, just in case ahead of time since we can. Done. And the Witch King. What are we looking to do with the Witch King? Right. We are looking to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to melt into mist and go 1, 2, 3, 4 and make it to the shrine. So we're going to melt and then go to the shrine. And that gives us a day, effectively, of getting done there. So that's it. That's day 27. We get a monster roll first thing. 4 giants and trolls are going to appear, and we get the dwarf and our everybody there. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. So he is done. The druid is going to hide 1 die. All we need to roll is not a 6, and we do, and we get to here. Then we're going to turn in big game. Big game gives us our 5th card. And the druid has made quite good work this last week. You can see they scored 4 points in the last week. That's pretty good. They also get a piece of armor, which isn't going to matter. But they get one. We might as well roll it and pull it out of the bag because we don't pull a lot of light armor out of the bag. And we get a shield. So they get a light shield. So we'll pull objects, saved objects, and we do got some items. And we made a light shield just for this occasion. Big game is turned in. The hero is winning this, and you get to explore the crag, which guess what we're not going to do. I mean, he could turn all his cards in and hope for something super lucky, but we did at least sort of make it. I think he did reasonably well given where we're at there. So the druid is done with his day. The Witch King melts into mist and goes all the way to here. This giant does jump on him, and then nothing else appears. It sucks a little bit that the giant is going to jump on him, frankly, because that's going to make his last day a little crappier. And then the knight goes 1, 2, and 3, and nothing appears. So that giant doesn't fight us today because we are melted. It's day 28 coming up here. So the druid... That fly is just torturing me, by the way. Just enough torture. I am going to draw 2 cards at the end of the day. You never know. We get Locate the Pool and Happy Camper. I don't even think I'm going to bother writing these down. Boy, I hate that. I hate the card zone. I wish you could turn those off. Is there any way we get to any of those? And the answer is no. Best we can do is get to here. Done. So we are done there. The druid, I think, is just going to retire for his last day. The dwarf is going to do a hide phase. A move into the inn, and 2 trades in hopes of selling. And if he can get a little bit of cash out of this, and he can score a point just having gold. No one has that second gold, that 1 gold point for second place. So that would be what we do. The knight is going to hide. Actually, this might be dumb. I think the knight. So this is one of the few times. Now we have to hide. You have to hide. The knight's going to hide and move into the dragon space there. Done. The reason you have to hide is in case you roll goblins and everything just goes awry. Oh no, the goblins cannot appear. The only thing that can appear on this space is the trolls. The only thing that can appear is trolls. Everything else will appear on its space because it's day 28. So the monsters will come off the board first and go back onto the board. So oof. We're going to hide just because you never know what roles are going to appear. We don't want to be caught out effectively. So the main issue we have is that we need to hide and get these searches done. And hopefully that's what'll happen. Done. And that's it. Day 28, we get 2 monster rolls. The monsters will come off the board and return to life effectively. It's bats and serpents and demons. So serpents and demons. So we're going to get some demon action going here. Done. And then, of course, the bats. But mostly bats actually just come off the board. We got 3 bats here. Where are the 2 bats? 2 bats are up here. And last day, druid is first. The druid retires. He just walks away. Done. scores his points, and he's done. The white knight is going to hide, and he does. Then he wanders into here for his final battle against the dragon. The dwarf moves up there. He will hide just so he doesn't get chased out, since that is possible. And then he's going to do 2 trade phases with the rogues. What are we doing here? Let's go to the dwarf. First trade phase is sell everything. That's 11, 16, 19 bucks. He does have to roll just enough with our not 2 6s in a row. That's his first 6, unfortunately. But the second one, he is okay. He sells for 19 bucks. So the dwarf scores 19. That gives him 29 bucks, which is actually going to get him the second gold point there, because he has over 10 and second place to the druid. And all this goes. And now he will do one last thing, though. I'll leave those out. He's going to look at the rogues' treasures, just in case. One of them is a great treasure. Nope, none of them are. And so that second trade phase, he's going to... I suppose he has to roll on something. And he gets challenged, which sort of sucks. Oh my, that actually does strangely suck. Well, he's hidden, right? Yeah, so he's fine. He's going to let them block battle him for his trade phase, and he is done. The Witch King? Okay, so the Witch King has to hide. If he hides, he can now search, and he does. So we're going to now search with Magic Sight to find. We have to discover this place first. So we have 3 searches. We need to roll a 5 once. 2. No, that's 1. Is it better to roll? Oh, no, he has. I actually don't know. He has a 2 in 6 chance. So let me before I roll, I do want to know: is it better to roll 2 dice in this case, since we're looking for a 5 or a 1? The 1, obviously. Nah, we're just gonna roll the 1 die. Okay, so 1, 2 is nothing, and so yeah, he's not going to be able to do anything. Done. And what is going to happen? So he's hidden. He does get a bat, which sort of sucks. So he's hidden, actually. And he's going to get a bat. And the reason that sucks is because he could have nuked the giant, but he is out of purple because he actually used that to melt. And so he actually has to just hide. He could have nuked the giant and stolen the point back from the dwarf in prowess, but can't because he does not have a way to deal with both giant and the bat. Because Drain Life only hits one guy. So the bat would kill him, and so he is done. So he just remains hidden. He's done. Now we've got this guy here, and I'm pretty sure that for our knight, if we're hidden, this is an auto kill because we can ready this weapon with this chit, play this chit. Time 3 kills the dragon. That's going to give us, Dragon Slay. Oops, yikes. Okay, ++. Dragon Slay. That is his 7th card. It's worth 12. We're not even going to really write it down. That's 87 points of prowess. It is his 7th card. That is his 11th point total. He actually does get, yeah, that's it. So he gets a dragon tooth, but that doesn't matter. And I do believe that that is the end of the game. So the Druid scores 5 cards, nothing in prowess. He wins gold. He has 1 spell, which ties him for first place, which is 1.5 points. That scores him 8.5 points. The Dwarf, 4 cards. He does not win gold. He comes in 2nd place in gold and 2nd place in prowess. That gives him 2 extra points to add to his 4. That is 6 points. So not great for the Dwarf, but he does at least score, considering he had 0 points up until a ridiculous time. I'm actually pretty impressed he scored 6 in the last 2 weeks. It was actually up to 18 days. Up to 18 days, he had 0 points. So in 12 days, he scored 6 points. So not bad. The White Knight is our clear winner by quite a bit. He has 7 card points, wins prowess, wins great treasures with 1, which is sort of stupid. But no one drew any good treasures, or, the Dwarf actually drew the most treasures. The Druid actually had great treasures, but could not carry them. He actually had to score a Walk the Woods to carry the treasures on his heavy snake to get him to a place where he could sell them, because he could not carry them. And so he would have tied or surpassed the Knight in great treasures, but because of his carry capacities light, he couldn't do so. So the White Knight wins great treasures and prowess. That adds to his 7 cards. That's 11 points. The Witch King also scores 7 cards, but gets nothing from any other category, unfortunately. He almost had prowess, and he could have had it with one more phase. One more phase of planning, and he either has an extra black or an extra purple. The only thing he could do, here's what he can do. And is it worth the risk of dying? So there's a 1/6 chance of you dying. Done. He can kill the giant and actually take prowess from the dwarf and steal a point. Or he dies, because the bat will kill him. Because once you shoot, because Drain Life is a single target spell, he can ambush, and he has to roll a hide once he shoots it. And if he rolls a 6, well, then he's dead to the bat. Now the thing is, so in the scores, hold on, let me pull the big scores out. In the big scores, he will score 2.5 points along with the Druid, because he came in tied for 2nd place. So the risk is you gain a 0.5 point or have a 1/6 chance of getting 0 points. So gain a 0.5 for 5/6. I suppose we could calculator this. Hold on, let me pull up a calculator. So his expected gain is a 0.5 point times 5/6, which is 5 divided by 6. His expected gain is 0.42, about. His expected loss is 2.5 points times 1/6. His expected loss is 0.42. It is actually dead even. His expected gain equals his expected loss in that case. So we're not going to do it. we are going to just suck it up, take the 2.5 points, and walk away with sort of that partial victory. And so we are done. That is the game. Not bad, not terrible. So let's actually get this. Let me pull up my big scoreboard, and we will update our big scoreboard right now. And this fly is killing me. Like I was going to hang out a little bit and maybe drink a little and whatever, but I might turn the camera off and just try to kill this fly. So White Knight wins. He gets 4 points for the win. Done. Because 4 points. So that gives him 8 points in 2 games. 2 games, no deaths. 8 points. His raw score is 23.5 because he has scored 23.5 points. And that's going to put him at the top of the board right there. Done. The Druid and the Witch King both get 2.5 points. So they get 6.5. So that's where they're at, 6.5. And they both have scored. What did they get there? They got 8 plus points. So 22.5 points for him. And the Witch King goes to 21 points even. Done. I'll chat here. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, you and Raven are the only people here, and you're talking about COH, so maybe it's not worth it. And the Dwarf ends up with 5 points and 17.5 total is his raw score, and these guys all have two. I mean, we have a fly swatter, and it's great, right? I'm all for it. So that's what it looks like with that crew. And our second crew is going to go at it here. And that's going to be the Amazon, Elf, Sorcerer, and frankly, just the Black Knight, probably. We'll just go in order, just because they happen to be in that order. That's another interesting crew. Right, the Amazon usually scores pretty high. The Elf is okay, but usually I don't score the Elf that high. I don't do great that Sorcerer, usually I score mediocre, and the Black Knight just depends, pretty much, right? So that'll be an interesting game for sure. I mean, I think the Druid did okay. Again, especially because, he didn't score real well early and then tied for second place. Ultimately, I think that was a good, I mean, the Druid's last week was great. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy about sort of how both those games went. I think the Dwarf, I did dirty with the map, and I thought it looked like a great map for him, but I think ultimately it was not a great map for him. It would have been a much better map had this tile turned out to be good. If that tile turned out a little better, I think his game was better. As it stands, he ended up down in this tile, which was fine, but just not quite close enough for him to play the typical Dwarf strategy, which, frankly, is get some crap, go to the guard, and hire the guard. And then the guard helps you walk through things like mountains and the open, and you help the guard walk through the caves, and you become this weird, badass, ass-kicking team, and done. And I thought the map looked good for the Dwarf just because he started here, and he had easy access to this guy, and reasonably easy access to this guy. It just so happened that by the time he did all that and came down here, it was like day 18, and I'm like, and he ended up with find the altar and sacrifice. And going into the mountains for the dwarf, strangely enough, becomes super hard because of the way his movement is done. So that's unfortunate. I still think that was actually a pretty good game. I do enjoy the White Knight winning. I appreciate his, his scoring prowess this game. And that's it game-wise. So I think I am going to take a moment and I don't know what the next step is here. I think I'm going to take a moment and either I'll prep the board for the next one. I don't think I'm going to start the next one because it's already 11, and usually that first couple weeks takes 2 hours or whatever. So I don't think I'm going to get anything done. I could, like I said, prep the board or whatever and chat or just chat or whatnot. So I will be back. Give me 2, 3, 4 minutes to get some liquor instead of coffee, and I will return in a moment. And I will open the door so that the fly goes away. Good point. Because he's driving me insane.